You would go into Tesco and buy yourself
write
a
down-
sandwich
and
and
write
then
down
write
what I spent.
Tesco chicken
Yeah.
and ham sandwich.
I'm not with that granular. Tesco lunch.
Okay.
I'll try and avoid using socking in a way.
I think it's because you made it a verb, socking. Hi and welcome to the Bank of Dad podcast. I'm Kate and this is my dad, Pete.
Hello.
And we're here to share all the money lessons you weren't taught at school. No judgment, no jargon, just real talk.
Yeah, that's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, no judgment. That's really important because we're not taught this stuff. So let's help you as best we can. If you've got any questions you want to ask us, then the best way at this point is to email us. And the email address is hello@bankofdad.show. Just mark it with like a podcast question or something like that. Use that in the subject line and we'll do our best to answer. And we'll probably add a segment in. Either we'll do a whole episode on it or we'll add a segment where we answer questions really quickly.
Yeah, it's good to know what you particularly want to hear about. So, amazing. So last time we kind of went into the why of budgeting, didn't we?
Yeah, where the money goes.
Where the money goes.
Because it does.
Because it does, yeah, exactly. And why it's kind of good to get to grips of that.
Yeah, and sort of why so many of us get that sinking feeling when we check our bank account and it's like 2 weeks to go till payday.
You know,
and we're like, okay, I'm in trouble.
I'm having cereal for breakfast, dinner, and tea.
And tea, that's right. And to avoid that, we talked about being intentional with spending.
Yeah.
And really, when it comes to spending, exercising control means budgeting. Budgeting this week, but before that, we have...
The wanky word of the week.
It's that time again.
We still don't have an intro song. I think we really need one.
We do need it.
I
We'll
think
work
it
on
should
that.
be like choral.
Cool.
Yeah, can you not imagine like in George's choir going like and then just wanky.
I don't think we have the means to sort of commission a piece from
I
a
don't
local...
know. I think they'd be into it.
Maybe, but
You know,
anyway.
like the Westminster Abbey Choir. I think they'd be up for it.
Or we could get something knocked up with AI. It's
right.
bound to be possible.
Yeah,
So anyway,
that's
what
true.
is this week's wanky word?
This week's wanky word of the week on the theme of budgeting is, well, there's two. There's a couple of phrases actually. And it is fixed versus variable expense. What do they mean?
When you wrote this down, I thought it's not very wanky, but a lot depends on how you say it.
Well, yeah, and if you're talking finance and you're going, oh, my variable expenses are a bit amiss this month, wanky.
Okay, right, fair enough.
No?
That makes sense. Yeah, right. So you can broadly split your expenses into these two categories, fixed or variable. So, and it's not rocket science. Fixed expenses are the ones that are the same every single month. Or week.
So
Rent,
bills.
car insurance.
Yeah.
You know, the stuff that is usually on direct debit.
Predictable.
And it's the same or broadly the same each month, as opposed to food.
Yeah.
You might sort of broadly eat the same every week, but there's always variability.
Yeah.
Uber Eats.
Well, not that we have that here.
No, we
really.
don't have that in deepest, darkest Cornwall. That's not a thing.
It's one of my favourite things about going to visit Izzy in Bournemouth is
Uber
not
Eats.
Uber Eats, but just Uber Eats, and it's like, here, try this Korean cuisine.
That's
try
right.
this
You can have
Syrian
Azerbaijani.
dish. I'm like, do you know what? I will just because
Well, just because I
the
can.
option. But yes,
Yeah, so that's what fixed and variable means. So it's just to be aware of that.
okay,
All right?
cool. Right,
Cool,
so
let's
keep
get
that
into
in
it.
mind. Right, so yeah, like we said last week, we talked about where it goes. So now we need to talk about how we're going to stop it just disappearing, getting control. So to do that, we need to know exactly what a budget is.
Yeah, I feel like budgeting has a bad rap. I feel like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it sounds boring. I do think words matter, so maybe it's a spending plan. Might be a better.
That sounds way more fun.
Well, it does, yeah, right? Because I think budget, it's all about control, right? But words do matter, and I think you say, okay, actually, I'm going to plan my spending. People might be able to get behind that a little bit more.
Sounds less restrictive than plan my not spending.
Exactly. It seems negative. It seems restrictive. It seems about, tightening the purse strings, one on a budget.
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
It's like
we
the
all
money
should be on a
equivalent of
budget.
going on a diet.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's how
Yeah,
it
good
sounds.
shout. Really, a spending plan. We'll inevitably call it a budget throughout, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Words matter.
We're going to
but
say budget because that's easier, but
I'll try to say spending plan.
I reckon we'll have 10 seconds before we lose that.
probably.
All right, go.
What it is, though, is you get to decide and tell your money where it's going to go.
Right.
A lot of us, I think, are passive. when it comes to spending. Oh, I don't know where it's gone. Or it's been a really expensive month. Well, it's like the month didn't spend your money for you. I know what you mean, right? It's no judgment, remember? But it's like the month isn't expensive. You've spent more this month.
Yes,
That's
and
okay.
whilst the circumstances may be out of your control,
Yes, of
your
course.
car failed its MOT or whatever, I guess the budgeting is going to help us to allow for those kind of things.
It will. That's important because if you're going to plan where to spend, you need to be prepared for unexpected expenditures, and we'll get into that in a minute. Yeah. So that's what we're doing. We're telling our money where to go. I think that's like a core message. It's about being intentional and being in control as opposed to letting it happen to us.
Do you have any good like apps or like ways to set up a spreadsheet or?
Yeah, right. Okay. So there's no, everybody's different, and so things will connect. When I first started doing this myself, I carried a notebook around with me.
Notebook.
Yeah, I know, because like it's the dark ages and we didn't have decent apps then.
Oh, sure.
So,
as in like with you, why would you carry it with you?
Because you spend as you go. So unless
like you would go into Tesco and buy yourself
write
a
down-
sandwich
and
and
write
then
down
write
what I spent.
Tesco chicken and ham sandwich.
I'm with that granular. Tesco lunch.
Okay.
Chicken and ham sandwich was
With
a bit
sweet corn.
dicey. So I think it's more about, it was just a case of it was tracking. Now, we talked last time about spending and certainly budgeting, spending planning, being forward-looking, right?
Yeah.
Right? So as opposed to, it's not, tracking is helpful insofar as it helps you stick to the budget that you've planned. For years, I thought I was budgeting, whereas what I was doing was tracking, and that's only half the story.
Right.
You need to decide where the money's going to spend and then make sure you stay on track. Right?
Okay, so if you're like, oh, I've actually spent more in the first 2 weeks on food, that if I continue that pattern, I'm going to go over my food budget. So therefore, I need to be conscious. Like that's where the tracking would help. The forward thinking.
That's right. So tracking is important. So there's a bunch of ways you can do that. You can do it with a spreadsheet if you're that way inclined, right? The great thing is that it's easier than it's ever been, and because we hardly any of us use cash anymore, right?
Genuinely, only get cash from relatives on my birthday. You know those videos where it's like when you open the card and like loads of cash comes out from your grandparents, but you've got to make a real point of reading the words.
Merry Christmas from Nonna and Marco. Oh, thank you, Nonna.
Oh, there's some money in there.
There appears to be.
It's easier than it's ever been because most of us have banking apps on our phone, and many of them are really good at helping you with this. Now, obviously, I haven't used them all, right? Because I generally bank with First Direct. They're not very good at it, but I also am a Monzo customer.
Yeah,
and I think Monzo absolutely rule at this stuff. There are some other really good sort of what we call challenger banks like Starling, Monzo. There is another one as well, Revolut, I think. So there's some really good, these are like newer banks, and they're app based.
But yeah, they don't have that I know of.
They certainly don't have
Buildings.
branches. No, exactly.
Branches. That's
So they, it's all built around the app. But Monzo will allow you, firstly, to track spending. It will automatically categorize, and you can change the category. So, if you go for McDonald's or you buy sort of Sainsbury's or whatever, it will say groceries. Or if you Mackie D's, it'll say restaurants or eating out or something like that. And you can adjust those categories, and the app will learn. Right?
Yes.
So if you change the category, it should know next time that, okay, last time I was at Tesco's, it was groceries. And so it's going to be groceries next time. And using in Monzo, there's functionality called trends, whereas you can set your budget and it will track it for you. So it will say,
really cool. I didn't know that you could do that on Monzo.
Yeah, so you can say, okay, I want to spend £400 this month on food.
That can be quite visual as well. You can see like, oh, okay, I'm already halfway through.
And it'll notify you at different points.
Because even if I'm very much a very visual person. So if I'm on week, not even finished week 2 and I'm on 200 of my £400 food budget using your numbers, I'd be like, I've still got half left, I'm fine. But if I see I've gone over the halfway point on the wheel, I'm like, oh,
right.
And Monzo quite often do the wheel pie chart kind of.
Okay, yes, they do.
Especially with pots anyway, so that would be good.
Well, pots is another, we'll get to that because pots is a way of kind of segmenting your money.
Yeah.
I want to put this much aside for this, for that, or whatever. So, Monzo, I think, just have nailed this. I think it's so easy to use. Yeah, it's brilliant. So, it's part of your budget. You plan what you're going to spend. We'll get to that a little bit more in a minute. And then Monzo will help you track.
Yeah.
There are third-party apps as well. So for years, I've used one called YNAB, Y-N-A-B, stands for You Need a Budget, an American app. So with open banking, you can set it to bring in your transactions from your bank and it will auto-categorize. And that will do broadly the same thing, but it is paid.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and Emma is another good one. Emma does essentially the same thing. There's different levels. And with a lot of these apps, you can get like cash back and there's different perks and stuff, right? So definitely have a look. We'll maybe put links to a couple in the show notes. So we'll go from that.
YNAB, when I was doing Meaningful Money research, pretty sure the first time you mentioned it was in episode 13.
13. Video episode 13.
Video episode 13.
Okay, folks, welcome back. Just a brief aside, really, something that I've discovered recently. I found a piece of software called You Need a Budget, or YNAB, Y-N-A-B.
And we're now on nearly 600 and something?
Yeah.
Been talking about YNAB for years.
Yeah,
I've been using it for, I would say, best part of 20 years.
Cool.
Yeah, it's brilliant. But I don't use it to budget anymore. The great thing about budgeting is that if you do it well and consistently, you'll get to the point where you don't need to do it anymore, right?
Yeah, I suppose you can
Lots
almost
of
hold it in your
automation.
head in some ways as well.
Yeah, it just becomes second nature.
Natural,
and if you build a buffer for yourself, it's less critical. So,
yes.
Anyway, we'll get to that.
So speaking of buffers, and some people's income varies very much month by month, you know, especially if you're on things like a 0 hours contract.
Yeah.
Is it possible to still budget even if you're got, irregular hours or not necessarily a set income each time?
Yeah, it's possible. It's harder.
Yeah.
It's going to be, right? So going back to our wanky word of the week and fixed and variable expenses, the thing we need to start with is our fixed expenses, the stuff we have to pay every month.
Yeah.
Else, bad things are going to happen.
Yeah.
So if we've got debt repayments, that will be one of them. If we've got like rent or mortgage or whatever, then those things, they have to go out.
Yeah.
So we budget for those. We set that money aside. Most of us, not all of us who have variable income have some like a broad minimum.
Yes.
Right. So it's like
It's
on
not
like
like
a
one-
really bad month, it'll be X.
Yeah. It's not going to be like 1 month you do 60 hours a week and another month you do 2 hours a week. It's not going to be that drastic.
Well, and hope not. I mean, that's super difficult. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how people get into massive financial
Yeah.
difficulties, right? So, obviously, if you've got variable income, it helps if you've got your own buffer, like some money set aside behind you so that you can smooth out those ups and downs a little
Right.
bit. In order to get to that, you're going to have to be super tight on your budget and like live like a monk for a little bit and essentially live to your minimum. And if you earn a bit more, you want to be socking that as much of that as you can away.
Okay.
So if you're sort of
That's a horrible, horrible phrase.
socking it away,
Yeah.
is it? Why?
I don't know. It just sounds weird to me. It's an oldie person phrase, I think.
I am an old person. That's why I'm here.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys. Did your mind go to the same place mine did?
Oh, socks.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try and avoid using socking it away.
I think it's because you made it a verb, socking. Like, if
Okay.
you sock it away, that's better than socking it away. No?
Yeah, okay. You're my daughter. We're in a very, very weird territory.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Okay. If
If
you
you
have a minimum,
live to your less.
live to your minimum, even if
Yes.
it's for just 2 or 3 months.
Yes.
In the grand scheme of your lifespan, that's not a long time.
You can miss out on a few
and
things.
it will be, yeah, exactly. And it will be hugely beneficial. You just say, I'm not going out. Honestly, I'm not going out. I'm going to eat beans on toast for 3 months. But if your minimum sort of that you get on an average month is £1,000 a month.
Yeah.
On a half decent month, it's 1,200, and on a really good month, it's 1,500.
You need
If
to
you
be
can
able
live
to
to the
live to
1,000.
the 1,000.
And try and get the optimal is if you can get like 1 month of your worst kind of month, like £1,000 in that example. If you can get that behind you, you really home
As
and
your
dry.
buffer. I see. So that then on the months that if you have a shocking month and it's 800, well, you've got £1,000 behind you.
Yeah, you
to
can
make
you
up
can
the
dip
200 to
into
get
a
it to
couple hundred
1,000
quid.
or-
Yeah, but then you'll need to budget to refill that.
To refill it.
Right.
Okay.
So we'll perhaps
Cool. So
cover
it is
that.
possible.
It is possible, but we need to try and get a buffer behind us.
Yeah. Now, something I'm a bit flaky with things. Like I start journals and I never finish them. How do I make sure that doesn't happen with my budget? How do I stick to it?
Look, that's not just you. It's human nature, right? Most of us can be quite sort of faddy, so we might get really into something and then our enthusiasm wanes a bit. That is human nature, I think.
Okay.
So what we want to, so go easy on yourself, okay? So sticking to it is one thing. Often we feel like circumstances are against us. It's like you decide you're going to go on a diet, and then like
it's your mate's birthday and they want to go to Chinese.
Yeah, or I don't know. You like win a hamper.
Yeah.
You're like, well, that's
It's
just great.
filled with biscuits.
It's there. I'm going to eat
Well,
it.
I have to eat it. I was given it.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be wrong to do otherwise. So it does sometimes feel like the universe conspires against you to sort of derail your good intentions, right? So when things come up that threaten to derail you, obviously some things are unexpected. You talk about earlier on about car failing, an MOT, or whatever. There are things that come up. Christmas, birthdays, they are not unexpected. We need to stop lying to ourselves.
Yeah, Christmas just
It's
around the corner.
exactly the same day every single year,
From
right?
2000
From many years ago. So, we need to sort of be a little bit firm on ourselves and say, like, that wasn't expected. But life does start as something. So we need to get to a point where we've got a buffer, an emergency fund. Again, by spending less than we earn, it underpins almost everything. It's hard, but what we do for a few months is we say, I am going to build a buffer, an emergency fund, and X amount of my pounds. If I've got $2,000 coming in this month, I'm going to set aside 200 quid of that to build my buffer. And I put it away straight away the second I get paid, and I leave it and I don't touch it.
Where do you put it?
If you're using something like Monzo, you can stick it in a pot.
Okay.
You can stick it in a separate account, which is the same thing in Monzo, essentially. If you don't have an account that has the sort of pots functionality, which are essentially virtual accounts, then you can physically open a separate account. What you want to do is perhaps put some friction in place so that you don't spend it.
So by having it in a completely different account, you'd have to get a different card.
You'd have to physically move it back into your spending account in order to spend it.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, you can't spend your pots unless it goes back into the main account.
Right, on Monzo.
So you have to actively go,
Yeah, I was doing so well, but sometimes needs
sometimes
must.
it is needed. Yeah,
that's
I've done
what it's there for, right? So, we need to work towards building up an emergency fund, a buffer. We'll talk a bit more about that next week, and the week after probably, because it puts a barrier between you and the world.
It's a safety net.
Yeah, it is totally, and it's really important. And when it comes to saving up for stuff in the future, that's called sinking funds, or a lot of people use that phrase. It simply means I know something's coming next year. I've got like 10 months between now and then. I know what I'm going to need to spend then, so I'll divide it by 10 and save a little bit every month. If my car insurance is 500 quid and I'm 10 months away, it's good maths. 500 divided by 10 is 50 quid a month.
£6.72.
But if you know what it's going to be, you can save for it.
Yeah.
But you need to be budgeting for that now.
So we talked about this last time when you go into you look in your account and you go, I've got nothing. If I blow my budget halfway through the month, what am I going to do? It's obviously not a pattern I want to continue, but I've got myself in this situation. What do I do?
Yeah, you kind of need to take ownership of that, because it hasn't happened by accident. I mean, if something's really kicked off and there is a massive bill that you totally weren't expecting, it's more than any buffer fund that you've been able to build up. It does happen occasionally, right?
But it is more often than not.
More often than not, it's loose control.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, there's no magic bullet here, Kate. You can't just sort of, set in place some basic functions and it'll sort of look after itself.
No,
Being
you have to hold
means
yourself
you've got-
accountable.
Yeah, exactly. But you mustn't beat yourself up.
No,
right?
we are
Because that's a
only
negative. Yeah, that's a negative sort of cycle to get into. So don't beat yourself up, but don't lie to yourself either.
Yeah.
Don't say things, I'm just not good at sticking to a budget. That's terrible mental language. And say, I can do this.
I just made a mistake.
I made a mistake. I'm human. It happens. But I can learn from it and not do it next time.
Now, great, but I'm in the middle of the month and I've blown it. What do I do?
You're going to need to go monk mode, probably.
Beans on toast.
We joke, but maybe.
Yeah.
It's either that or you get into debt, which you want to avoid if at all possible.
Yeah.
Debt can help, but for a very short term. You don't want to be living in debt.
No.
Too many of us do that, and I did it for years. You live in your overdraft. You never get out of it. You're always owing somebody money. You're paying interest maybe. You don't want to live like that. Getting to the point, honestly, most people, if they lost their job, they couldn't make it a month without getting into debt, right? Literally, most people live paycheck to paycheck.
Would you say majority of people?
Yes, I'm certain it's a majority. I'm going to feel like I should have looked up some stats.
Wow.
Which is a properly precarious place
terrifying.
to be. But if you're halfway through the month and you're a lot skintier than you thought you should be at this point, you're going to need to do everything you can not to make the situation massively worse. Don't keep going as you were planning to.
No, don't go. Sorry, I can't go on your birthday takeaway. I am sorry, but I cannot go.
You might need to get used to pissing off your friends.
I do also truly believe that if your friends are angry at you because you can't go to something because you can't afford it and you're sticking up for yourself to not go, they are not your friends.
Well, no, I totally agree, but this is the
world we live in.
It is, and it's not easy to stand up to other people,
especially your friends.
So look, go monk mode, go hard, go street, go strong, and just say, I'm going to do everything I can not to make the situation massively worse.
Your
by
future
the time I
self
get
will
paid.
thank you.
Oh yeah, and that's so often the case. A bit of control now will bring massive freedom later on. A couple of stats for you. Living Wage Foundation says 49% of UK employees live paycheck to paycheck.
Wow.
So half. Right?
And that's so hard. It's hard to get out of that.
Really hard. Low paid workers, 42% of them have less than £10 left after essentials. Terrifying.
That's awful.
Yeah. Emergency savings, nearly half of UK... nearly half, 59%, I think that's more than half. 59% of UK adults have less than £5,000 in savings. 13% of UK adults have nothing at all.
13% have nothing.
But 59% have less than £5,000. Most of us wouldn't be able to live more than 3 to 4 months, particularly not if we're paying rent. You would never make it that long. 5,000 quid is not a lot of money these days, is it?
No.
Right?
Flip. Wow, that's terrifying.
It is scary, and so the most we can do to put a buffer between ourselves and the world really helps.
What do you know?
Mm-hmm.
Some little speedy stats there. Okay, so how strict do I have to be with it? How strict do I have to, is there a bit of leeway?
Yeah.
Or is that just a slippery slope?
I think we should budget to zero. So that means give every pound that's coming in your income a job to do.
Right.
If you leave it woolly, you'll spend it. I would.
Yeah.
Right? So if you say, okay, right, I've got $2,000 coming in, I've budgeted 1,500, you will blow the 500.
Yeah.
Right? You will blow it. So budgeting to zero means giving every pound a job. Either there's only 3 uses of money, right?
We talked about this too.
Right? You spend it now.
Yep.
You save it and invest it so you can spend it later, or you give it away. Give every pound a job. It's either paying bills, you're spending it now.
Yeah.
It's either fixed or variable expenses. Wanky word of the week again, right? So you want to set those up and then track, right? You can budget a buffer. That's okay. But put a number on it. There's a big difference between saying I'm going to keep £200 as my sort of buffer, my stretch amount, right? As opposed to I'm just going to kind of leave that open. What I would do is I would budget maybe to save that money and do everything I can to stick to the budget so that 200 quid gets saved. But if it comes to it, you can say, well, actually, it
I
looks
need
like I'm only
75
going
quid of
to...
it.
Yeah, right. But I would start by giving it a job and only flex if you absolutely need to.
Okay, cool. Did you write this point?
Yeah. Is that why you don't recognise it?
This is why it's wanky.
Is it?
Budgeting power moves.
Yes, that is wanky. Yes, I
was
wrote
like,
it.
no way did I put those words together. What? Do you want me to look at you with a straight face and go, Dad?
Ask it how you want. Like, what are some budgeting power moves? So in other words, how can you make this as easy as possible?
That was a much nicer way of wording it. You had to
Right.
say budgeting power moves.
I did throw it together. Anyway. Look, automation is super powerful.
Okay.
It's weird. You kind of have to strike a balance between being intentional and keeping control and automating what you can. Automation is great because it takes decisions out of your head.
Yes.
And because many of our expenses are the same every month, we can make that super easy. So if your rent is, I don't know, give me a number, 700 quid a month, right? Then, and it's the same every single month, and you don't have to budget for 700 quid a month, do you? You just make sure that money's there.
Yeah.
And your fixed expenses get paid first, essentially. So if you
Sorry,
add your rent, your car insurance, your mobile phone bill, and all your fixed expenses together, and that comes to, say, 1,000 quid a month, what you need to do is to make sure that that is there, ready for those direct debits to go out.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I've done, and actually your mum taught me this, right from the start, for as long as we've been married, which is nearly 30 years now, is we've had 2 bank accounts.
Yeah.
We've had a bills account and a spending account.
Mm-hmm.
So the way we've always done it is we get paid into the bills account.
Yeah.
We know that our bills are X amount a month. All we do is we leave that amount in that account, and anything excess we shift into a spending account, right? And that's the bit you need to budget, because those are your variable expenses.
Yeah, because you don't need to budget what you just.
No, because it's
if
the same every month.
Earning $2,000 and you know you're going to have to spend $1,000. Well, you don't,
Yeah, so you keep $1,000 in your bills account.
Yeah.
Shift the other £1,000 to your spending account, and that's what you budget. So
Yeah.
right, I've got £1,000 to spend. It
guessing
kind of
you mean
halves the amount of things you need to keep an eye on.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Continue
that-
with your ninja moves.
Do that the day you get paid, right? You can always do it a day or two after, because sometimes it gets a bit
Bank
messy with bank
holidays
holidays or
and- yeah,
weekends or
yeah.
whatever. If you do it the day after, it's usually fine.
And we said this last time, I think, but scheduling your bills, if you can change them
Yeah.
to be a couple days after you get paid.
And it's done.
Yeah.
Right? But having the 2-account system, it doesn't really matter when they go out in the month, because you know if you've left £1,000 for bills in there, it'll just
It
get
will.
whittled down. It'll be down to roughly 0. Give yourself £100
And
or
like,
something.
I look at that account and I don't really consider it my money.
No, because it isn't.
So I don't really
You've
look-
contracted to pay to other people.
Yeah, so I don't look at it.
No, right. Honestly, when you're starting out, it's like when I said, I wrote down every single penny for like a week, and it was a ball ache.
Mm.
But
Probably quite eye-opening, though.
well, exactly what I was going to say. You're like, man alive, how much
Yeah.
do I spend on
It's
just
those
crap
little
I don't need?
things.
So sometimes it's worth just saying, look, I will check this every day, and I will make sure I'm sticking to the budget that I've set every single day. And then as you get better at it, you can do that once a week.
Yeah.
Right, and eventually you just sort of have a quick check at the end of the month and say, okay,
Yeah,
I
I'm on
didn't
track.
completely blow it this month, so we're
Well,
fine.
you start to learn, like, if suddenly I'm having
Yeah.
an amazing month in my life, as in, like, wow, I've suddenly got amazing shoes, I've had amazing food, you're like, I'm thinking I'm going to run out of money.
Well, yeah, potentially.
You can track, like, oh, actually, no, my behaviours have stayed the same. I'm going to be all right.
Yeah.
Once you're experiencing budgeting, I mean.
Yes, that's right. And sort of worst, a monthly check, particularly if you've got a decent buffer behind you.
Yeah.
Perfection is when you can get to the point where you're spending last month's money, not this month's. So in other words, you have 1 month worth of spending behind you. If your total spending in a month is £2,000 and you earn £2,000, right? So you're spending everything that's coming in. Wouldn't it be great if you had £2,000
In
on
your
the
bank
last
on
day before
payday.
you get paid?
Yeah, I don't know that. We have talked about mindset. I think it's important that we don't think of it as like controlling, or not think of controlling as a negative word. Because it is controlling. It is, maintaining your control of your finances.
Yeah, but the alternative is that it controls you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think if you have control, you have freedom, you have power.
Yeah.
Right? And honestly, that's good for the soul. Not to be beholden to anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And another way to, I think, make it feel better is to understand that it doesn't have to continue forever. I don't budget now. Now, it's not because I earn a ton of money. I don't earn loads and loads and loads. But it's because I budgeted well enough for long enough
To
that
build
now
habits.
I literally check my ins and outs maybe once every couple of months.
Really?
But it cost me a lot of time and effort to get to that.
Yeah, and it's building the habits and building the routines, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't have to continue forever.
Cool.
Do it well enough and stick to it. You'll be free.
Great. And the big one, can I still do the fun stuff?
Yeah, life is short.
Yeah.
You just need to plan it in.
Yeah.
Plan a fun budget. All right?
Yeah.
Remember, you're in control. You get to tell your money what to do. So if you want to say, right, I'm paid $2,000.
I
this month.
really love laser tag. Don't know why that was the first one to come to mind. I think I played laser tag
do you?
once in my life when I was like 10. But to be fair, it was fun.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to be diverse with my examples,
good.
you know?
Okay.
Because there might be someone here who's going, yes, I do love laser tag.
And maybe that's your definition of fun. Maybe your definition of fun is getting out into the country and having a fantastic meal in a pub and a few pints. Or maybe it's...
Laser tag.
Laser tag, right? Or whatever. So factor it in.
Yeah.
But sometimes fun can be spontaneous, and then you just need to make sure that it's there.
Yeah. Cool.
Right? So now we come to the part of the show where I ask, has Kate got it? So
Probably
her
not.
iPad is off,
I've moved it.
and she doesn't know what questions I'm going to ask,
Okay.
really importantly. So how would you define budgeting?
I would say it is giving all of your money a job, allocating it a role
Okay.
in the way you spend it.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
Okay.
How...
Good.
I'm going to ask you it like this. What are some budgeting power moves?
Vomit. Okay, budgeting top tips I'm going to call them.
Okay. How can you make it easier on yourself?
Yeah. Okay, so paying yourself first.
Bye.
Have quite often the 2 accounts. So
Yes.
having the account that your money is paid into,
Mm-hmm.
and then paying yourself with how much you need, so leaving your bills amount
Mm-hmm.
in the one that you paid into. And making as much of that automatic
Yes.
as much, if you can automate, your car payment going out so
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to think about it, great. And there was another point. I can do this. Automating
Apps,
it.
maybe?
Oh, yes! Sorry, this is useless. Okay, yeah. So most apps, especially like the ones in Monzo, have things like pots, or they have tracking spending systems so you can be able to budget within them. But yeah, day after you get paid,
Cool.
pay yourself first. Automate it. Use apps or whatever it is to track it. God, that was like pulling teeth out.
It was a bit. I think we feel like you need to get better at this. You need to listen more.
Yeah, I do. I think it's because like when you're answering the question, I'm going, right, where am I going to take this next?
Yeah,
I'm not
we'll get
fully
used to it.
listening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
quite
yeah, yeah.
important that I don't tee you up too much.
Yeah.
Right? But I realise if you have no idea what question I'm going to ask and that was the bit you didn't listen to, then it's not going to make you look too good. Worth mentioning, people might like to know, there's like a free course on Meaningful Academy. The Financial Foundations is completely free. It talks into budgeting, getting out of debt, and the basics of personal finance and management.
Yeah.
So check that out. We'll put a link on the website.
Cool. Right.
Okay.
I would say that budgeting feels more manageable now. I think it feels nicer.
Or maybe I have done something right. We've done something right. The more we can make it positive, the better. So it's a spending plan, not a budget, right?
Yeah.
And it's about being in control.
We didn't call it spending plan.
No, not
at all.
once. It's about making it. It's about making yourself free. It's a relatively small amount of effort for a massive win.
Yeah.
Honestly, so yeah,
It will be worth it in the long run.
okay. So, hope it's helpful. If you've got any questions, ask them. Do that on email. hello@bankofdad.show. I'm a qualified and a very long-standing professional financial advisor, so I'm supposed to know what I'm talking about.
You wouldn't know it though.
Send the questions in and we'll do our best to answer them.
Yes, thank you so much for watching. Please, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. It really, really helps us out. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. And we are focusing on debt next week.
Big subject, super important.
Yes. So we are looking forward to seeing you in the next one.
Yeah, we'll see you then. Ciao.
Ciao. Weird man.